Hello everyone. Today I want to introduce you to a poet called Mary Oliver. She's an American and she's been living from 1935 to 2019. And her poetry is mostly concerned with human life and nature, and also the connection between humans and nature and what nature reminds us of. And I want to introduce you to 3 different poems. They are my favorite poems by her, although she's written widely. She's written several different poetry collections, and for one of them she even got the Pulitzer Prize in 1984. The first poem I want to read to you is by the collection Felicity. It's mostly about love, and the poem is called Roses. It goes like this. Everyone now and again wonders about those questions that have no ready answers. First cause, God's existence, what happens when the curtain goes down and nothing stops it, not kissing, not going to the mall, not the Super Bowl. Wild roses, I said to them one morning, do you have the answers? And if you do, would you tell me? The roses laughed softly. Forgive us, they said, but as you can see, we are just now entirely busy being roses. I really like that poem because it's so light-hearted and so simple. The scene is so easily grasped as a reader. She's just outside with the roses and thinking about life and the meaning of it all, and trying to find explanations, but she cannot, and she doesn't find the answers. But the roses, they just say we're busy being ourselves, so that's all that it's about, that's important. And it's also the same for us humans. I think it's enough to be ourselves and to try to be the best versions of ourselves we can be, and to just explore what it means to be alive and what it means to be living in this world and connecting with others also. The whole collection Felicity is really beautiful. Some poems are really short. Maybe I can also just read one very short one. It goes in the same direction. It's called Don't Worry, and it goes like this. Things take the time they take. Don't worry. How many roads did St. Augustine follow before he became St. Augustine? But the other 2 poems are also very beautiful, and they also deal a lot with our relationships to other people and also to ourselves. The first one is called The Journey, and it goes like this. One day you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried, but you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life that you could save. And I think the only life she could save was her own, and that goes for most of us. I think it's really beautiful as it inspires us to rely on ourselves, and that it is possible to be self-reliant and to look after ourselves and not forget about ourselves while we try to care for others. And that's really important, because I think throughout life sometimes we tend to forget about that, and we either doubt our own power to lift ourselves up and to be there for ourselves, and we also expect ourselves to be there for others more than for ourselves, and the poem just beautifully reminds us that this is not the case, that we also have to be for ourselves, there for ourselves, and we can be there for ourselves as well. And the last poem is the most beautiful of the three of them, I think. Well, it was four now, because the short one, Don't Worry, I also read to you. But it's so short that I wouldn't count it as a longer poem at the moment. So the last one is called The Summer Day, and at the end of it there's a very famous quote. Maybe you're familiar with it and you recognize it when I will read it to you. Maybe you won't. We'll see. I recognize it when I first read it. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean. The one who has flung herself out of the grass. The one who is eating sugar out of my hand. Who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down. Who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I don't know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down into the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last, and too soon? Tell me what it is you plan to do with your one wild and precious life. And I really enjoyed the last two lines especially. Tell me what it is you plan to do with your one wild and precious life. I think it's a question we should ask ourselves more often, because we tend to forget about the beauty of life and all the possible adventures we could experience if we stepped out of our mundane everyday life every now and then. And I think most of Mary Oliver's poetry is beautiful in that way, that it reminds us that there's more to life than our daily struggles, and sometimes it's just enough to step outside, go for a short walk, and recognize all the beauty around us and the nature, and flowers just being themselves, and that we can be ourselves too, and try to make the best of our lives and to experience it as thoroughly and well as possible. All of her poetry is actually really beautiful. She has also written some essays. I haven't got around to read them yet. If you have any recommendations regarding her essays or her poetry, or if you have any questions, let me know about them. I'll leave a comment down below. I'd be happy to get back to you. A few more words about Mary Oliver maybe. She was rather inspired by Walt Whitman, who has been writing Leaves of Grass, and also Henry David Thoreau, who has been writing Walden. It's a rather lengthy piece of writing that is set in the woods in America. I didn't enjoy it that much, but I think concerning nature writing, I enjoy shorter pieces a lot more. I don't know about you, maybe you can tell me about it in the comments. But Mary Oliver is really always a go-to for me, because her poetry is so on point and so simple, yet so powerful and so meaningful also. I think it can speak to many people in different situations, and it's so like wholesome. It's reminding ourselves of what is really important in life, I think, and I really enjoy that. So I can recommend almost any poem, I think. Maybe you want to give it a try and get your hands at a copy. Yeah, otherwise, I'm coming to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, I'd be glad if you liked it or subscribe to my channel. Maybe also tell others about it if you want to. I'd be happy to see you again on the channel, and I will make more videos and book reviews as I go along. And I hope you will have a nice day, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.